Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Patty Stash coming at ya. I just want to I like chatting about the market. I like kind of chatting about what goes down, what I see, what I like, what I don't like. And one thing, crypto is crazy. Crypto is so weird. Crypto kind of fucking sucks in a way because it's not real. And what I mean by that is the stock market, right? When you have a company that does stuff and makes a product and makes a profit, you could kind of determine the value of that company based off a few things, okay? It is the revenues that the company does, the liabilities that they have, the assets that they have, but that calculation comes with a formula, and that is essentially you have a certain number of shares, right? So with the stock market, you've got the authorized number of shares, which is the total number. And then you've got other numbers. You've got the outstanding, you've got restricted shares. You've got shares that go into a treasury. You've got all these different kinds of shares. But the formula to come up with the stock price is mathematical based on the amount of money, the amount that a company makes, the amount of shares they have out there. It's a formula. And that's kind of how you determine whether this company is a $1,000 company, $1 million company, $1 billion company, or a $100 billion company. It's based on math, like real shit. Whereas with crypto, it's just nothing. It's air. It's Elon's like, hey, Grok. What the fuck is Grok? Grok! All of a sudden, this token comes out and it's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Why is it worth hundreds of millions of dollars? There's nothing to substantiate it. Well, it's crypto. Like, that's it. So if you have the ability to get ahead of scenarios like that, where if you knew that Elon was going to make a tweet, or if you know that some person of massive influence is going to start talking about a project so that all their followers then start seeing it and buying it and it goes higher, then like you make money. It doesn't really matter what that company does as far as like what they're producing or the revenues they're generating. It's just how much hype this token has within the community and how many big influencers are talking about it. So the whole point I'm trying to make is, for years, when I was in crypto, I was looking for companies that had strong fundamentals, primarily, such as like Telcoin, and that obviously worked out great because that's a great project, it's a great company. They are actually producing something. So over time, people start to realize that, and you get investors. So you've got Telcoin, it's been around since 2017. It's a lot different than a meme token that may have just popped up a couple months ago. So the point I'm trying to make is, money moves in cycles. It goes from, it's like diffusion, from a high concentration to a low concentration. So the example that I want to kind of talk about is this Andy token that is part of the whole Matt Fury thing. And there's obviously multiple different Andy tokens on different chains. So the question is, like, which one's the best? Who knows? Like, it's too early to determine which is the best here now, because it's like you don't know what the teams are doing or how they're going about doing it. So it's all kind of speculation. But that Andy name kind of fits in with the Pepe, with Wolf, with Brett, and all these other tokens have been real successful. So when you hear Andy clumped in with those other names, you're like, oh, those other ones did big, so Andy's going to go big. But it's like, will it? We don't know. Now, here's the thing. Last week, when Andy on Base was pumping, Andy on Ethereum didn't do shit. And everybody in Andy on Ethereum is like, oh, why is this other one pumping and why is this one not pumping? And it's like, just because the people within the market are focused on this one and not that one because of something that they're doing. neither of them really are much different than each other, other than like, one's on a different chain, one may have a different team, which is obviously a very different thing. But the reality is, Andy is not producing a product that's generating revenue that's giving this token value. There is no value coming from that ideology. There's a Lamborghini in front of me blowing his engine. You hear him? There's a Lambo, a Porsche, a Bentley in a row. That's nice. Cool. So the point is Andy, they're not making products that are generating revenues that's giving it value. Instead, they're doing other stuff. They're following these protocols that other tokens are also doing that's making them go to a fucking $500 million market cap. So the point of trying to make is everything in crypto is fucking hogwash. If you are able to think ahead of what others that don't know shit about shit are able to do, you could buy an asset basically and just sit and wait, because eventually the people that don't know things, that don't know that much, will eventually discover what you may already know because you have experience in the market. So I have experience in the stock market, so I know kind of how to look for value in the stock market. But I've been in crypto long enough now to understand like what also is a derivative of value. So the point I'm trying to make, kind of beating around the bush here, but it's important that right now, last week, Andy on base was pumping like a motherfucker, and we hit a $10 million market cap, which seems to be the fucking kiss of death for all my tokens. Like, they hit 10 million, which is 1 cent, and then they get rejected, and now like all my fucking tokens are in the same boat. So, but that's a good thing, because one's a psychological barrier, more people are coming in, more money's coming in, a rising tide lifts all boats, and eventually they're gonna push over that 1 cent, and when they do, they're gonna break out on a larger scale, because it's a psychological barrier. But the point is, Andy on base hit 10 million and then got rejected. And now it's kind of, dropping. It's down 75% right now, and it's getting reaccumulated. But the focus shifted away from Andy on base to now Andy on Ethereum, and Andy on Ethereum is fucking exploding. So there were a lot of people that probably sold their Andy on base and they got an Andy on Ethereum, and then Andy on Ethereum started to pump. So now Andy on Ethereum is like a $60 million market cap, and everyone's talking about Andy. So the way that I see things playing out, and this is usually how it goes down, lots of people are making money with Andy on Ethereum, and then you've got Andy on base that's now setting up, ready to make another pump. Excuse me. So what happens is you have people that start taking profits from Andy on Ethereum because they might be up 5x, 10x, and they go, hey, this Andy pumped, this one hasn't. I'm gonna put some money into this other Andy. So a bunch of people basically do the same thing, and then you get to a tipping point with Andy on base. And then Andy on base starts to move higher, and then everybody who's in Andy on Ethereum starts going, oh shit, Andy on Ethereum starting to slow down, but Andy on base is starting to pump. Same name, same idea, same ideology, different chains. So what happens is people start to sell from the big one, and the concentration of money moves from the big one to the small one, then the small one moves up, and it's like this give and take. So that's what I kind of think is going to happen. I'm not saying it's going to, but does it make sense? Yeah, it kind of makes sense. So nothing in this market is really like normal. Everything in crypto is just absolutely ass backward, but you can make a lot of money.